Cedar Butron, aka Cedar Baby, and I'm back again with another video. Today I just want to give you guys some insight on what happened to my nose ring and also share some tips on what not to do when you get your nose pierced. If you're interested in those tips, stay tuned. Okay, so I got my nose pierced like 2 months ago. I had my nose pierced before, but I ended up getting a bump and I just didn't know how to get rid of it, so I took it out like a couple of years ago. So 2 months ago, I pierced my nose again. I had purchased this nose kit online, and it basically looked like a gun with the nose ring, and you just kind of pushed it in your nose, and it was basically pierced. And my husband did that for me. Regarding to the nose piercing, it looked super cute, and I was like very satisfied with the outcome regarding to doing it myself. So I was trying to be gentle as possible with washing my face. And then I started noticing a bump, kind of frustrated because that's what happened to my last piercing and I didn't want to take it out. So I started researching different ways to heal the bump. And I came across this girl on, I think it was YouTube. And she kind of mentioned that basically she had heated up the piercing solution and she dabbed it in her nose and tried to get it inside the piercing to heal it. And I tried that. And then a couple of weeks later, it kind of took a downfall. So the reason why I think I got the infection is because when I was washing my face, I kind of noticed that I was pushing against my my nose ring. And I know the bacteria and like different stuff gets in your nose piercing. So I tried to be as very gentle as possible when I was washing my face and trying to leave my nose piercing alone. So after it took a downfall, that's when I started boiling the piercing solution and I was soaking it on my nose, and I started getting impatient and I was just trying to get the bump to fully go down. And so I went back and started researching, and I came across another video and they were mentioning that they had used tea tree oil and how they mixed it with water, and then they had put it on their nose piercing, and the bump completely went down the next day. So I was like, okay, cool, let me go ahead and try that, because I was just trying to get rid of the bump. And I did that and it was the worst. Like, so it went from this mad cute nose piercing to this big old pimple looking, like it was bad. And I was holding on to that nose piercing. Like, I didn't want to take it out. I didn't want to give up on it. And I didn't care if you've seen it or not, but I was not giving up. So once I figured out the tea oil wasn't working, I went back and did a lot more research, because the other two people that offered their opinions and gave their advice didn't help. So I had to go back and research more to try to figure out how to get rid of the bump. I found a couple of more videos that gave the same advice. They were all basically on one accord, and that was something that I was looking for. I didn't want to give up on my nose ring, and they mentioned sea salt. Basically, you sprinkle sea salt in some water, they boiled it, and then they soaked it, like a really good soak. And they did that 3 times a day, and they said that their bump went down within the week. So I started doing that, and the bump did go down, but the bump was already worse. It had already gotten bad. So I was kind of battling within taking it out and then keeping it in. And so what happened was my my stud that I had in, there was the bump inside my nose got so big that it was pushing my my nose stud ring out. And so I had to switch my nose piercing within the 2 months, and I don't recommend that at all. Do not switch your nose piercing at all. I would actually wait until like 8 months to a year to switch your nose piercing. But I had no other choice because mine was already pushing out. So I switched it in with a hoop. And that's another thing. I think it got just like really irritated. And about time I was trying to heal it with the sea salt, it was healing, but it wasn't going down. It just kind of stayed neutral. It got, that bump got super big. You could actually see it from a mile away. Like, it looked terrible. And I was so upset because I was holding mad. I was like hanging on to this nose piercing and it just failed me completely. So I had no other choice but to take it out. So that way it can heal and maybe I can pierce my nose again within a couple of months. Next time I think, was speaking to my husband, he did advise getting real gold for my nose piercing. Also, when you clean your face, you have to be very gentle with your nose piercing because the bacteria could get inside your nose piercing. I would definitely stay away from the tree tea oil and the mixing it in with water because I think that really messed up my nose piercing. That's the main reason why I had to take it out. You just want to make sure that you're using the Q-tips and making sure you're cleaning it with that. Be very gentle when if you want to clean it like with a cloth or a rag. But I would highly recommend the Q-tips. I don't want to give up because I really did like my nose pierced and I thought it was mad cute. But, you know, I just had to be humble regarding to taking it out and starting over. And I was perfectly fine with that. I'll give you guys some pictures, the effects of using that tea tree oil, and hope it sheds some light for you guys, those that are interested in getting your nose pierced. I would just, again, recommend staying away from the tea tree oil because I think that really caused that my bump to explode, basically. And it exploded. Like, I'm not even joking. It started bleeding. It got really bad. And so I'm just happy that now my nose is healed. And here in a couple of months, I'll go ahead and pierce my nose again. I mentioned the sea salt solution, and I wanted to just show you guys the sea salt that I was seeing when I was researching. The sea salt that they showed was this sea salt right here. And this is the brand that they had used regarding to healing their nose piercing and how they got rid of that bump on their nose as well. So you just want to use some of this sea salt, boil it in some water, and then soak it on your nose piercing, and that should do the trick if you don't have piercing solution. Wondering the reason why I didn't do it professionally, because the first time I did it professionally, and they use this big old huge needle, and they sucked that thing in there with no hesitation. And I was like freaking out afterwards. So that's the reason why I went ahead and did it myself, is because I didn't want to experience that pain again. And the nose piercing kit, it was just like a quick pinch, and like I barely felt anything. So that's the reason why I did the nose piercing kit. But if you guys want to, you guys can go ahead and definitely do it professionally. Just keep in mind that sometimes they do use a gun, but most of the times they use the big needle and they push that through your nose. So I hope those tips help regarding to on what not to do and what to do with your nose piercing. If you guys have any questions for me, leave a comment down below and I'll try to answer those questions the best that I can. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I have more videos for you guys soon. Thanks for watching.